Bona Eddie Gray, how are ya?
I'm good. I'm very excited to be here. How are you guys doing? Can you hear me? All right, cool. Yes.
If there's anybody in the room who doesn't know the artist that we have today, let me just give you a brief of who Eddie Gray is. So, according to the internet, Eddie Gray is an artist who is based in Nairobi. He is a self-taught guitarist, composer, songwriter, arranger, producer, DJ, film scorer, and a sound designer. So far, we have a few music that is out. Actually, a few. We have a lot of music that is out. We have No Trains to Kibera, which is a song or a body of work that was released during Kenya's post-election violence. We also have the latest body of work, which is World to Come, which is really why we are here today, Amma. Yes.
Yes.
So your music really reflects what is happening in the society, yeah? Talk to us about that.
I started playing music very early. My first interaction with the guitar I was probably 8 years old. And then progressively, I used to learn from my older brother. And my older brother was a very, I wouldn't say politically inclined person, but he was very in tune with what was happening in the country. He was alive when Saba Saba was happening. He was in school. Once he started playing guitar, he used to write kind of protest songs. So my inclination to music was also around the same things. I used to listen to South African songs of protest. So music, Miriam Makeba, Black Mambazo, those kind, Selailo Selota, who was a jazz guitarist. So after I started learning how to play in 2008, I think, that's when the post-election violence happened. I just moved to a house in a place called Woodley, right next to Kibera. And on this one day, the residents of Kibera took it upon themselves to protest on the railway.
Uh-huh.
So they went to the railway and uprooted the tracks of the railway. And after that, the cops came as usual, and there was scuffle. The scuffle ended up right outside my house. There was a kiosk there. So after they uprooted the railway, of course, they were thirsty and hungry. So they walked their way home. And on their way home, they decided to vandalize a shop that was literally outside my house. Yeah. So I was watching it on TV, but I could hear the 3D effects
behind you
from across the fence. Yeah. So that night was difficult to sleep because there's so much action there. Those tear gas, cops, all that explosion, the shooting. The next morning, I woke up and I was like, "Yo, this frustration needs to end up somewhere." And I wrote this piece called "No Trains to Kibera."
No Trains to Kibera. Yeah. Okay, sawa sawa. Talk to us about your journey from all the way back then and mpaka sai. In a nutshell, really.
I keep saying for myself, I think my career has been very accidental. I'm an ordinary, average human being who has had an extraordinary, accidental career. So some of my music landed on certain people's laps, and they were like, okay, let's promote this. So I was fortunate to create an album and tour with it. I've been to 26 countries now.
26 countries.
26 countries with... My passion has always been to tour Africa, which I ended up doing formally. So all the way from North Africa in Egypt to South Africa.
So you're a jazz guitarist. The main genre that you play is jazz, okay, amongst others, classical music. How has been the reception of jazz from the audience, from the people who listen to you? How has that been?
So when we started playing, jazz was very niche, very selective.
Very niche, yeah.
My first paid performance was by someone who used to go to my church. So in church where I learned how to play because the instruments were available. Before the service begins, we play instrumental music. So we take jazz versions of hymns and stuff like that. One of the members of the church was like, come, I'll pay you to come and play at a wedding.
Uh-huh.
So the first gig I ever played was at a wedding. The audience was 7 people, and they seemed to enjoy what I was doing, you know.
Right.
The next gig I did was at K1, when I was paid professionally to host an evening. I was playing with a group called Double Take. Mm-hmm. Then I was a keyboard player, so I'd play piano and put keyboard beats, and my friend Chris Bitok would play the sax. So when we found a keyboard player who was better than me, I moved from keyboard to guitar. But I was mainly a keyboard player. And then one day at our church, Mr. Aaron Rimbui, so he shows up at our church, and we have this session, a mixed session with him and Kanji Mbugwa. And Aaron comes and sits on the piano and destroys it in front of my face. And I'm like, this is the last time I play piano. So I switched from piano straight to guitar and never looked back since then.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. You had given me a whole story about this world to come. It has been coming, it has been going, it has been coming. We started at 5 tracks, then to 10 tracks, then to 15 tracks, then now 25 tracks. You've told me 50 tracks due to release. But talk to us about the album.
So in 2015, I started working on an album called World to Come. But I don't know how many of you here are musicians. When you're creating something, you really want to hold it close to your chest. You want the best version possible, and you want as little critique as possible. Not from others, but from yourself. So I would make music and then give it like 3 months and then listen to it again. If I liked it, I kept it. If I didn't like it, I shelved it. So the album was to have 9 tracks. After giving it space, it had 2 tracks. And then I made another 10 tracks. After giving it space, I only had 2 tracks. So I've made, now I think I have 30 tracks that I've made for that album. And I think the goal is now to make 50 tracks because every time I make 10 tracks, I only pick 2. It's been a long process, but very soon it will be released.
Before I go, I'd like to ask you one last question. How would you want to be remembered by? Eddie Gray, miaka zimeisha.
I came, I did my best, and I left space for others.
Mic drop, mic drop, mic drop. All right, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I'd like to give you what you came to listen to.